Well, hello there. How are you all doing? It's been a while. I've been at a kind of reunion of sorts, literally about an hour ago. It's a week-long affair where myself and a few new friends that I made at my late mentor's funeral. We're also very good friends with my mentor. All meet up and at his daughter-in-law's and basically reminisce about him and tell stories and give presentations on what we've been doing, what we've been working on, what we are working on, and just have general discussions and debates and mostly get drunk. So yeah, it's all good stuff. But one of the topics of discussion was naturally Syria, the Syrian situation, and how that's just suddenly come about. Because it was a bit strange how this rebel force just appeared from nowhere and essentially handed Assad his arse by taking over Aleppo. See, an operation like that takes some serious intel, considering the speed at which they took over. Get off it. I don't know what it is, but get off it. Come on. They went in and absolutely hammered them. So they need to know troop positions, what they were armed with, what they were carrying, the positions of heavy armaments, of machine gun positions, you know, the usual stuff that really a little rebel force doesn't have. It takes intelligence that, quite frankly, there's only two nations that have the intelligence capabilities to actually do that, to provide that intel. And it's fortunate that the vast majority of these terrorist organisations are intel-led affairs, shall we say. So yeah, I don't believe for 1 minute this is a naturally organically occurring instance of an uprising. This is plan B, basically, now that the Ukraine situation and the Israel situation is winding down, basically. They need a new sort of proxy, and they're getting that in the form of Syria. Well, there has been other things. Well, there was, of course, Keir Starmer. I still don't think it's going to last much longer than Christmas, really. I think in a few weeks he'll be gone, and probably Labour in late summer next year, as all the factions constantly battle with each other, none of them agreeing on anything. Ironically, the only thing that's keeping them together is Keir Starmer. So yeah, there's that. He's doing some fucking idiotic stuff, isn't he, really? Jesus. Banning porridge. Something about okay, yeah. So this is from Twitter, but even so, it's like, what are you doing? The petition that basically was put up on the government website about him. He's got to 3 million signatures now, and then this extremely weird response came through on my email yesterday. I'll put a picture of it up here. You can have a quick read. Do you see what I mean? It's just ridiculous. I mean, it's obvious that it's not really been written by him, yeah? Written by the regime. And then if you couple that, right, with what Dominic Cummings said here.
If you think of two roles, right? Foreign Secretary in Great Britain and the private secretary in the PM's office responsible for foreign affairs, an official whose name has never been in the newspapers. That person was like 10 times more powerful and important than the Secretary of State was. And I think this is something which people just don't really realise. And it's part of like how the whole system has become fake. So you have fake meritocracy, fake responsibility, and then fake cabinet government. So they all walk up Downing Street, the cameras whir, they pose, they smile, ha ha, I'm going into the most powerful meeting, aren't I great? But it's all nonsense. The cabinet is just a kind of stage theatre. And actually officials in the cabinet office have already decided it all. When you sit in Whitehall now, right, in meetings, they are literally scripted. So when the Prime Minister has a meeting with ministers, what happens is that before the Prime Minister has that meeting, officials go into the Prime Minister's study and they give him a folder. And in the folder at the front is a thing called Chairman's Notes. And that's the script, and that's what the Prime Minister reads out. And the conclusions for the meeting are in the Chairman's Notes, drafted before the meeting happens, right? So the Prime Minister says, hello, Secretary of State, blah, blah, blah. And then all these officials sit around the sides on chairs around the edge of the room. And then the MP, the Secretaries of State, all look down at their folders because they've all got their scripts, right? And this is why I use the NPC meme, right? Because then the Prime Minister reads out, well, we're here to discuss blah, blah, blah. And then he goes around the room, and then Secretary of State for Justice or the Foreign Secretary reads out his bullet points, and then he reads out their bullet points, and they read out. If anyone goes on script, you see the officials sort of go, and then look over at the other official on the side of the room and kind of go. That means we'll come back to that after the meeting and make sure that doesn't happen. And then at the end, it was a fascinating, great discussion. Thank you so much for your wonderful, insightful, original contributions. And then he reads out the conclusions which are all drafted in advance. And it sounds like a parody, but it is literally how the British state functions. And the MPs are happy with that, right? Well, how does the psychology of it work? The officials are happy because they have almost all the real power. The Cabinet Secretary is now 100 times more powerful than any Cabinet Minister apart from the PM. And the MPs are happy because this whole system pretends that they're in charge. So both sides are basically happy with the fake version of the government.
Yeah, so essentially he's just admitted that the government isn't the government, yeah? The government is the civil service. They hold the power, they wear the pants, not the PM. Which we all knew anyway. I mean, this is what we've been telling people for what? A couple of decades? But no, we've got conspiracy theories. Yeah, well, here we go again. There's another one that we can notch up to a win for us, can't we? I mean, it's just ridiculous. And then there's all this talk of an alien invasion based off a cliff high prediction. Well, a a prediction that came from a program that Cliff High wrote to predict stuff with, yeah, of linguistic data that he got from the internet that now he even admits doesn't work anymore. Hasn't worked for, well, a good 5 years now at least. This is because of the self-censorship that people have to do and the changing of words, where you can't say certain words now on particular platforms without getting demonetised or banned. Really got me echoes up. Because people don't understand these things, yeah. They were saying that UFOs are obviously either aliens, back engineered craft from alien crashes. Why do they have to be that? Well, they say because we've got no capacity to make them. Really. Look up Townsend Brown, Renaissance Technologies, Kurt de Boer, yeah, who was Werner von Braun's second in command in the SS and also second in command at NASA, yeah. It's Dennis Bushnell, yeah, look him up. Richard Peter, yeah, the electrical scientist from the 1930s. Hans Campbell even. We've had more than a capacity to make these craft for well over 100 years, and we didn't need crashed alien craft to do it. We didn't. There was a piece of footage of some UFOs being hit by but it perfectly demonstrates how these things are plasma, which is what I've been saying for a long time. Hours. This footage
over a military base in Afghanistan, and it has changed everything I think about UFOs. Watch.
Two are hit by a missile. They seem
Look
to
at them.
explode, then reappear undamaged.
They are plasma. UFOs are plasma. I'm almost damn near positive of this at this point. But did you see the way that when they got shot with that missile, that they just came back together like a jelly? This is a still shot from right after the UFOs were hit with the missile. And you can see that doesn't look like a busted up aircraft. That looks like a plasma cloud or something. Back in 2023, Avi Loeb and Sean Kirkpatrick, who was the director of Arrow at the time, put out a theory that there was a mothership in our solar system and it was sending probes to Earth, like dandelion seeds basically, and they were self-replicating probes as well. Wouldn't it make sense if they were plasma probes? Does that not check out? That makes sense, right? Because we don't recover UFO crafts that get shot down, or do we? We don't really know at this point. These two UFOs look damn near identical, and the way they explode is damn near identical. I could buy the self-replicating bit. Have you noticed that there are more UFO sightings happening nowadays? Yes, people are more comfortable reporting them because they won't be looked at like they're crazy anymore, but could it be because this plasma has finally self-replicated into enough dandelion seeds?